Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today I'm going to be doing a really simple page, just using a stencil and some paints to create a multi something mandala. You can read it from both directions, whatever that is. You can turn it upside down and the other way. So I'm starting off with some rainbow colors and just creating two rainbow semicircles on my page. So this is going to be my base coat for my mandala. And the colors I'm using are ruby, tangelo, mustard, lime, peacock, iris or orchid. I can't remember. I think it's iris, and night. Night's going to be my indigo color that I'm going to sort of use as the joining color between the two halves of the circle, the two mandalas, and just making sure I've dried that off. Now there is, as you can see, there's absolutely no measuring here whatsoever, and it just happens that it mostly fits this two-piece stencil. This is a two-piece stencil from Natalie May Scrapbooking. So it starts off with the larger stencil and then it's got the detailed bits in the second stencil. So what I want to do is, with a really light coat of gesso, I'm just going into the widest going into the largest stencil and just lightening off the colors, so you can still see the rainbow colors underneath, but this is a good way to just give it a little bit of unity, I suppose, between the two pieces. This is the second part of the stencil where it's got the detail, so this is where I'm going in and just sort of adding the extra bits of color. Now I'm just using a what you call it, makeup sponge. You could obviously use a sponge or a dauber or whatever you use to stencil that's a little bit more precise. I was getting some color in some places I may not have wanted color. It all worked out in the end, but if you want to be really precise, choose your weapons appropriately. And basically, I'm not necessarily thinking about where I'm putting color, but whatever I'm doing on the bottom, I'm doing on the top. So I did want to have that unity between the two pieces. So if I'm putting orange in that bit, I'm going to put orange in the next bit. I'm also just using up the colors I've got left over of my paint, so nothing goes to waste, but I am varying them up a little bit, so I'm not necessarily having the same colors in the same place I've got them underneath, if that makes sense. So once I've finished sort of stenciling out what I need to, I'm then going to go in with some pens and just sharpen up the work. So while I really like it, it just makes a huge difference once you outline some of the areas to it, which seems a bit redundant, I suppose, when you've got stencils. You think, well, why would you do this? But it's just that way to add the artist's hand to it, I suppose. You've got this great stencil, which I love, but by adding these little hand-drawn little bits and pieces to it, it just finishes it off. It certainly does my eyes. If you look at that bottom one, or top one now, as opposed to the bottom one, there's just something a little bit sharper and more finished about it with the pen work over the top. And it doesn't take very long. I chuck on a movie in the background as I'm doing this, tune out, and it's just mindless, really. So it's my relaxation. Once I'd finished, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more to this. So then I decided to go full foci and do some dots and dashes and add little different bits and pieces to it, and sort of get more of that mandala feel to the piece itself, which I really liked. And then get rid of my paint because I kept spreading it on the cover of my journal. So then I wanted to write something in this, and I was kind of thinking, well, what would I write and how would I write it? Because I've only got a limited amount of space. So as I was considering that, I decided I'd get my black pen out and do some dot work with that. So quite often when I'm doing really brightly coloured things, I know that the addition of white and black will finish it off, and I had lots of white on that page and colour, but I didn't have any black, which is why I chose to put in those black little dots. So I wrote peace in one side, and I was thinking, is there another word I can put in there? But then I had this really bright thought, because I'd been turning my journal backwards and forwards and it was reading the same both ways. So I would just turn my journal upside down and write peace in the other way. And I sort of really liked the duality of that in the journal. That, you know, no matter what, we've got peace coming at us from all, well, I hope we have, from all angles. It's a bit tenuous at the moment across the world, but that's what we're hoping for. So once I dried that off, then I just do a few finishing um, bits and pieces to my letters. So I did decide I want to add a little bit of pink and add that dot work in as well. Just again to make it more than just the words in there, but it actually becomes part of the patterning within the whole page, and it sort of reads as one thing together. So when I finish that, then I'm going in and adding a little bit of gold, because doesn't gold add, you know, a bit of sparkle to everything? So I really love these. Are the mirror pens from, or chrome pens, sorry, from Life of Colour, which is an Australian company. You can get mirror type pens or chrome pens all over the place. Krylon sells them in America. But they're really a fun way to get that little bit of shine on your page too. So here is a close-up of the page. It was lots and lots of fun to do. It was really simple to do, but make a great card or something like that for someone. And simple as. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a go at doing it yourself. And until next time, bye for now.